Hey Aquarius, what's up? This is Sage, and I'm here to do a reading for you. So, from my setup over here, it feels like you know, um, you want to maybe create something, maybe show people what you can create, um, but there's some anxiety around that. So, um, you've like put a lid on it for a while, and but maybe it's time to come out of the woodworks with what it is that you've created. Maybe let's see. Let's ask the charms for you, Aquarius. Let's ask the charms. What should the reading center on? So the mask fell out and the cut. So cutting out the mask. So then you know what? We'll start with this one. Right? First we'll pick out two plants that you need to cut away. Okay, these have been growing and these have been, part of your mask. So we'll call on two plants that will represent parts of your mask that you need to cut away. So we have hops and willow. Interesting. Okay, and then we'll split it apart like so. Let me see how it's like that. Yeah. Split it apart like so, and now pull in two more plants that you definitely need to nurture, because that is the key to the vulnerable side of you, the side of you that needs to show up as the star, as the person in the limelight, whatever it is. um, so let's see what plants to nurture. So I'm thinking it's just the one then. Yeah, it's just the one. um, how this could be a part of your persona is, maybe these two together is giving the energy of like a fast moving river. Yeah, kind of like this, just like, let's do it, let's adapt. If this doesn't work, let's do it that way. If that doesn't work, let's do it this way. Let's get it done. It feels like there's so much of a rush, and it feels like you are allowing yourself to change, to spin around way too much. Jasmine is all about like trusting yourself, keeping hope in times of darkness, and for me personally, it means home. you know I moved around quite a lot as a kid, but in every home there used to be like a jasmine bush. So it always reminded me of home. And this knife kind of reminds me of a kirpan, which is, like something that connects me to my Punjabi ancestry. So it's like, the jasmine of the south, the knife of the north. It's really tying me to my roots. So that's kind of what jasmine is about, like um, pause, pause quite a lot, stick to your guns, um, um, take time in the night to breathe, and see how far you've come. So let's pick um, two cards from here to just enhance this energy. Okay. Alto. Okay. And earthworm, clarity, rumination. Yeah, see, what did I tell you? It's good to like take some time out and like think things through. Um, don't rush. Whatever it is that you're planning to do, it involves you opening up, and that brings in a lot of anxiety. So you could be opening up as in like um, going on camera, having to speak to a lot of people about things close to your heart, maybe, or maybe you're just going to like open up to someone you see as a partner or a close friend. Maybe this is about something that you've been creating for a while, and you want to show that off. So it's all to do with this. It's just saying, take your own time with it. It 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 pays off to pause and ruminate, gain some clarity. You know, um, I feel like the earthworm really is is something is a creature that's pretty satisfied with ground level um, observations. You know, so heavy. All right, Aquarius, and okay. So I feel like you need to pay attention to your feelings. Although willow is something that talks about paying attention to your feelings, here it's really talking about, not adapting too much. Um, we have the altar card come up here for you, and I think that's because you need to like have like this sacred space, and you need to have like objects on that sacred space to sort of like remind you of um, what you stand for, and what you're focusing on, and sort of just like ground you to you, right, and to what's sacred to you. We are trying to not get caught up in the rush. Okay, we are trying not to be like rushing waters, just finding any which way to the destination. That's not what we are trying to do here. We are trying to go towards the destination with integrity, um, with care, with clarity, after nights of rumination, um, by having a good practice, you'll be able to, like, it doesn't matter how your altar looks. What matters is what you place there and that your focus is going towards something positive. You know, you're able to bring your energy together and pay attention to what's sacred at every step, you know. Yeah. And let's bring out the Adventure Time Tarot, and let's just like map out what your journey is gonna be like then. Okay. Six of Cups, Page of Coins, Five of Swords, Three of Swords. Okay. Okay. Does it fit? No, it doesn't. Okay. So let's see what we have here. So first of all, we have the Six of Cups upside down. And to me, this card really talks about like facing past fears, um, making friends with the demons of your past, sort of thing. But upside down, it feels more like you're trapped by your past. Yeah, maybe, you know, your own nature is sort of like working against you right now. Or maybe it's more like, you know, the expectations or how people have already always seen you. You know, they've always seen you a certain way, and it feels weird to come in front of the same people in a different look and a different energy or whatever, you know. But literally, there's no card below this one. There's only the charm. This is a charm, and it's just to say that, you know, you're not as trapped by your past as you think. You're not as trapped by, you know, how people have always seen you in the past, or the kind of expectations that you've had in the past. You know, that no longer defines or um, dictates how you move anymore. You know, you can trust that you're free of that, um, as long as you um, you know, keep an eye out so that you're not just rushing and you're not just adapting to every little thing coming your way. um, you won't have to feel trapped by the past. And then we have the Page of Coins over here. Page of Coins. This Page of Coins is like such a vibe of like privilege to me. Like he's the most simplest and the most like good-hearted of dudes out there, but like he is so privileged and he does not even know it. It's just like a normal Tuesday. But you've got the Page of Coins upside down. So it's like you've had to claw your way up to privilege, and it feels like maybe you're so like hyper aware, um, that maybe that shows your um, like small town roots. um, yeah, there's this feeling of like, um, everybody can see that I'm not from here, I don't belong here in this place of like privilege or something. Um, but I'm here to say that's just like, I mean, your feelings are valid, but it's just a feeling, like a fear that you have. You need to soothe yourself, you need to put all of your roots on the altar, and look at it with some gratitude, instead of being like scared that someone can see, um, that you're so ratchet, or someone can see that you're like from the streets, or you have those rough edges. um, yeah, you kind of like just feel that people can just see that, you know you're um, not what you present yourself to be, which is just nuts. Okay, like, don't worry about it. Having an altar will really help you move through those emotions in a healthy way, instead of letting it keep you stuck and anxious about how you're being perceived all the time. And then we have the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords is the bully card. You know, he didn't have to like attack these little squirrels, but he's having fun with this. Um, and then we have the Lovers card right below. What the hell is that about? What is that about? Okay, this is so weird. It's sort of like saying, um, wait, let me just confirm that. Yeah, yeah. They're really chatty right now, but I need a concise answer for what is this bully thing and the lover thing all about. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is so weird. It's sort of saying it's okay. So it might be different for different people, but for some of you, it's saying that your bully is your lover, or your lover acts like a bully sometimes. Um, but it's asking you not to worry about that either. Like, get help from the bully. Um, he or she will support you. You know, things can work out. You don't have to adjust to the bully. You can. let's pull a clarifier or like advice for this that's coming up. Queen of Cups. The bully is just a baby that needs a little bit of like, you know, mommy time. And then, okay. Okay, so maybe there's someone in your life, maybe there's someone that you love that has a lot of rough edges, that just has like the vibe of a bully or a troll or something. They're just, their heart is in the right place and they're ready to help you. It's just that, you know, sometimes they want to act like a big fat baby. uh, don't treat them like a baby, you know, don't treat them like a child and like shout at them, but like treat them like an actual baby. Give them some, you know, baby talk love, puppy love. And you know, it's like the flame goes out and they're ready to like help you, um, do whatever you need, um, so you have an easier time opening up and things like that. So yeah, I feel like now I'm just reading different situations. Maybe you guys have a combination of all of these, or just like one. But let's see. So over here we have the Three of Swords with the Knight of Swords right underneath it. And so there's a lot of like conflict with the self, right? With your own self. Um, you tend to move ahead regardless. You know, you just wanna go, go, go. It's that hops energy again coming through. And so we have Temperance as clarifier for these two cards. It's really asking you to take a break in times of conflict. You know, it's Jasmine card again. Take some time off in the night to really ruminate, think things through, wait for some clarity to come before you go rushing off again. You know, um, there is really no need to rush through any of it. And then we have the Five of Cups with the Six of Wands here. This to me is just talking about like getting over loss, getting over grief, and coming to um, celebration and victory and all of that good stuff. So yeah, if you feel like, you know, all these things that I've talked about is really tough on you and it's like bringing you down, the cards are coming up to tell you that, you know, you just have to hold on, and you will see your success. You know, you will see your success. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune with the Ten of Swords right there. And yeah, I wonder, you know, if this is also talking about, you know, when you get to the point of success and when you get everything that you want, there might be a feeling of like you know, this isn't exactly how I want it to be, maybe. Um, yeah. Yeah, there's the thing is like you can get everything you want and you can still be a little disappointed here and there with a couple of things, or maybe just entirely like how it's come through. Maybe it's not what you expect, but that's okay. That's part of it too. You know, when you get everything you want, there comes a time for like fine tuning and everything. So don't just sweep it under the rug you know, like when you arrive at this point of like getting everything you want, don't just sweep the stuff that you don't like about it under the rug, because that stuff is there for you to like look at, observe, and fine tune, so that you get a clearer picture of what you want. And then we have the Three of Coins upside down with the Hangman. This is also sort of talking about, how when you get everything you want and there are some things about it that aren't exactly right for you, um, you kind of don't really want to work or tell these people about that, the people that you're working with about that. You kind of, maybe you just hint, or maybe you just go with the flow, go with their flow, which is the wrong thing to do. You need to stick with your flow. And if you're not flowing at the moment, it's okay to pause. So I guess this is where you tend to like adjust and adapt, you know, when the result isn't perfect, um, and you don't know how to tell the people that you're working with that this is not exactly what you want. Don't go with their flow, you know. Um, yeah, we got a clarifier, the Page of Swords. So this is really talking about, taking the time to talk about all of these things. Um, Tell the people that you're working with that, hey, this is not working out for me. I love most of it, but there are some things that are not good enough. And I don't want to just like, let's see how it goes kind of thing. I want to make the corrections that I want to make, you know. So you are totally allowed to do that. Don't take your gratitude too far and turn it into, I don't know, some form of uh, what's the word apathy. Yeah, don't turn it into like some form of apathy, just because you don't know how to tell your friends or your colleagues or whoever it is that you're working with that you're not happy with what they've done so far. So basically, uh, for your reading, this is what we have so far. Um, you want to open up about something or the other, but you know there's a bit of your personality that's holding you back. The your manner of rushing and adapting to everything needs to be cut away to make space for a slower, more careful version of you that is very grounded and rooted in your past and like where you've come from and all of that good stuff, because it is good stuff. It's sacred stuff, and you need to treat it as sacred, so that when you're in front of people and when you feel judged, it doesn't bother you anymore. Like, you might as well be blindfolded, you know to other people's reactions to you. So yeah, um, it'll help you detach from other people's reactions to you, um, so that it's more of a them thing and not really a you thing, right? And there's this weird little thing about a lover who's kind of a bit of a bully, um, that can help you, just needs to be babied a little bit, so that they can work out their childishness, work that childishness out of their system, and be there for you when you need it. Um, Take time out, um, seek out quiet times, um, safe spaces, and resolve the conflict within you before rushing forward. Yeah, we're trying not to rush too much here. And yeah, if you were ever worried about your ability to handle all of this, you can, and you will arrive at success. You just have to keep at it. Um, and when you do arrive at success, you are allowed to fine tune it and refine it. Um, get your colleagues and friends to help you with that instead of, just like going with the flow. So, yeah, get other people to adapt to your vision of things. And that's it. That's it for your reading. See you next time.